Election Night is a documentary directed and co-produced by Ryan Scuffrow, a cinematographer, producer and writer who is most well known for his work in cinematography. He has directed documentaries such as Bending Steel, which won Best Documentary Featured and Best Show at the 2014 Fargo Film Festival, and Best Documentary Featured at the 2014 Oxford Film Festival. He has also worked on new shows such as The Daily Show. The documentary in question is Election Night. The brief synopsis given about the documentary is: a crowd gathers until early morning at the boozy London pub to watch the US presidential election. As dawn breaks, emotions escalate and events take a turn for the worst. Election Night can be considered to be filmed in a few different modes, as there is little interaction with the subject. But there is one mode that really truly makes this documentary effective in portraying the content effectively: the observational mode. This documentary would be considered to be observational or fly on the wall because it quite simply observes the participants in an environment in which they are relaxed and comfortable. The observation mode, or fly on the wall, is when the maker of the documentary has very limited interaction with the subjects in their day-to-day life, whilst keeping the story moving forward. An observational documentary is essentially filming the subject in whatever circumstances they are in with an inconspicuous camera. By doing this, it allows the subject to forget that there is a camera, allowing them to get more comfortable and act more naturally. Election Night, this is done perfectly. This is exactly what Ryan Scuffrow has done by almost hiding the camera away and not being in people's faces, literally just observing them in their true natural reactions. The content of this documentary is already a rather controversial topic. The fact that it is shot in a London pub, it just really goes to show how whoever is elected to be the President of the United States of America really does affect the rest of the world. There was a lot of emotion shown in the documentary, and the stylistic choices showed that really well. This will be discussed shortly. Being an emotional topic, an observational mode was one of the only ways to truly capture the pure emotion that people were feeling at the time. Although, at face value, it appears that this documentary was not showing bias in the election and remained neutral, by not displaying any real perspective. At the same time, it did portray a particular point of view. Through the capture of people showing dismay at the turn of events, it has become more obvious that Trump was going to be the successful candidate. Their perspectives were made clear when there were very few references to those who were happy about this. Only one vocal Trump supporter at the location was featured a few times in the documentary, which made him seem out of place and outnumbered. Almost like the enemy, really adding to the point of view that the documentary is subtly portraying. This is shown when Trump is officially elected president in the documentary. As written by Stephanie Yun, emotional content appeals to the audience's emotions to put them in the right frame of mind. This documentary has used the observational mode perfectly when it comes to showing raw emotion as they occur naturally, rather than trying to entice emotion in the London pub goers, enabling a greater impact. When it comes to the filmmaker Ryan Scuffrow, his work seems very people-driven, but in a rather passive way. His work is good at creating characters and stories without actually pushing it into the faces of the audience. Using Election Night as an example, it is predominantly observational, but has small sections of interaction with people to talk through some of the actual content. This is a conscious style choice by the filmmaker to further engage the audience in order to feel the emotion. When talking about the stylistic choice the filmmaker has made, the cinematography is not to be forgotten. This documentary is very aesthetically pleasing to watch because of the warm colour grading and the shallow depth of field every time there was an interaction with people, which focuses the attention of the audience on the emotions of the subject, which is what Ryan Scuffrow intended. However, this is to be expected for someone with a cinematographer background, who is someone who has learnt cinematography by trade. His stylistic techniques can also be seen even in the trailer of the aforementioned documentary Bending Steel. As it has been shown in the Election Night, it is an excellent example of an observational documentary. Through the use of essentially hiding the camera and watching the environment and the people, the stylistic choices of the filmmaker, as well as the content of the documentary. So next time you're watching an observational documentary, consider the merits of the mode and the skill involved of giving the viewer a sense of being a fly on the wall.